Hey, what's up, Stringlings? We're back with the Great Canadian Pedalboard, and today we're taking a look at the Fairfield Circuitry Randy's Revenge Ring Mod. Let's check it out. So if you've been following along, so far we've covered some of the more kind of basic pedals that you would have on a pedalboard, a couple of overdrives, some fuzz. I do have another fuzz pedal coming up, as well as distortion, delay, a phaser, right? Some pretty cool stuff going on. And I have to say, I've never used a ring mod, or I didn't think I did, until I got my hands on the Wave Crush from Sonicake, which is kind of like a ring mod. It does sort of the same thing, which is basically it takes and crushes the bit rates down. What happens with a ring mod, and Fairfield was actually one of the first pedal companies to jump on board when I put this idea out, and this is what they offered me, and it's a very, very cool pedal. But what happens with the ring mod is pretty complicated. It basically takes a signal and does really strange things to it, and I could get into all of the details, but I don't fully understand them myself. I am, however, going to play around with this a little bit, and I think one of the most important things you can do with an effect like a ring mod is plug it in and play with it. That's what it comes down to. Now, this is a very, very cool and very complex effect, but really what it comes down to is modulation. So with this one effect, you can go from a fairly subtle sort of a tremolo effect all the way to complete annihilation of your tone. You can make it sound super digital, you can make it sound super analog, it's just really, really cool, really complex, and you have to get it in your hands to kind of play with it a little bit, because there's so much going on. And this one in particular has a few added features that I'm not going to be able to get into here because it's just really too much going on for what I'm able to cover. But this is an analog effect, which is super cool already. The fact that you can get this, but the ring mod dates back to like the 1930s as a special effect, so it's not surprising they weren't dealing with like high-end computer programming for this kind of sonic manipulation. But with that, this one is actually programmable. So on the Fairfield Circuitry website, which is linked down in the description, you can actually do manual programming inside the circuit, or inside the pedal itself on the circuit board, and control that with a CV or control, I think it's control voltage controller. So you can use it for an expression pedal, or with an expression pedal. You can control it with other controlled voltage pedals and effects and controllers. It's just a really, really complicated piece of circuitry, but because of that, it's probably one of the most flexible pedals on the whole board. What I'm doing today is I'm actually running this into the front of my pedal platform Soldano plugin from Neural DSP, and I'm not using any other effects with it, but you can use this with delays to create really incredible sci-fi futuristic sounding effects. You can use it in conjunction with other types of modulations, or with distortions or overdrives or anything like that. It's a really, really colorful pedal, and it lends itself to a ton of possibilities. I'm just gonna plug this thing in, same guitar, and start turning some knobs. Let's check this out. Okay, so we're down on the desktop. You can see we've got a volume, that's the volume output, as well as an effect mix. This is a low frequency, or low pass filter, sorry. This is the frequency, controls the rate of the effect, whatever the wave happens to be. This switches between between the sine wave, and then this is the high-low switch that goes along with it. Standard switch to start. This is all obviously handmade and hand printed. It's a very, very cool looking pedal. It's very industrial looking. I love it. All of their pedals, I think, have the same kind of look. This is the clean tone with nothing on it. Same tone we've been hearing all along. This is the neck pickup. Okay, I'm not using any other effects except for the ring mod. I'm going to click this on. There it is. And As you can see, everything is up to 12, and I have the switches off to the right, and this is the kind of sound we get. So it's a fairly fast tremolo sound. And this, incidentally, is why I didn't put a tremolo on this board, because with this modulation, as well as the vibrato from the Mayfield Sketchy Zebra, we've got a lot of kind of modulation things happening there. Next up, we'll be looking in the modulation section at a new chorus pedal that was just released this year as well. So that's really all we need for modulation in terms of just covering all of these variables. But let's turn this frequency down, and you can hear how that changes the rate. Okay, very, very kind of spacey, slow effect, but if we take that all the way up, it actually, you can hear it change rates as it goes. So when it's all the way up, what you're hearing is that tremolo effect, but very, very fast, and it becomes so fast it almost starts distorting. And it's producing the effect of an octave lower as well. Okay, so right now it's playing at an octave below the A. So that's a very cool effect, actually. It means that anything that's not an A is going to start doing weird things, right? So there's your A. And then if we play the fifth, it's still ringing that A. So now we've got a perfect fifth. But if I go to the F, still a sixth. Let's go to the G. Now we get that dissonance. So that dissonance is actually going to pay off for getting some of these weirder effects. I'm going to turn the mix all the way up so you hear mostly effect. That's just nuts, right? Turn this back up. That's super cool, right? Keeping this, I'm going to go back to 12. I'm going to flip the switch over here. So there's a little bit of clipping happening. That's not, that's on my signal here. So let me just turn this down a little bit and see if I can clear that. Same thing, going all the way to the top. Getting into some pretty weird territory already, but if we want to go back down a little bit here, and we'll just take this high-low switch, we'll take it over to the high and watch what happens when we pass that. So it really mellows out quite a bit until we turn that down. I'm just going to dime everything out here and find out what happens. Now you get a little bit of lo-fi signal, which is kind of cool. Mix the effect all the way up. That's awesome. And you can get this kind of almost sounding like 8-bit stuff. So this is one of those effects that, you know, if you just listen to kind of what I'm doing, kind of messing around with the pedal a little bit, you get the sense that a lot of people would say, this is just a toy, it's kind of useless, right? But it really isn't. If you're looking for a particular kind of digital sound, you want a little bit of special effect, right? A little bit of special effect to it. There's really a lot going on with this, that you can create kind of lo-fi effects. You can create modulated effects. Just so much happening here. It's almost impossible for me to dig in and say, yeah, definitely use these settings to get this sound, because you'd really have to play with it a bit. I like this kind of tone. I'm going to split them. Use both humbuckers here. Sorry, what's going on in my eye? Like, tell me that doesn't sound cool. I mean, maybe it's not your bag. I don't, you know, that's fine. But we can get these kind of like almost, like I said, hi-fi or sorry, lo-fi or like FM type effect. Switch this back over to low. There's just really, like, it's such a cool pedal. I would love to have one of these, just to kind of hang around. You can do all kinds of sort of old school film effects. If we start putting you know, other effects on it after, like the delays and that, once again, when we start teaming these up, what's going to happen is I'm going to have this probably going from a fuzz into this, and then this into you know, the Dr. Scientist Sunny Day delay with a little bit of modulation on it, and we're going to get some weird stuff happening. But it's just, there's so many layers of coolness. Even just having a really good tremolo is worth its weight, right? Yeah, that's awesome. Crank that all the way up. It sort of starts to break down the waveform a little bit to where you're losing some of that kind of guitariness, and you're getting into more of Atari, right? Yeah. Again, I'm barely scratching the surface here. I just wanted to give you a sense of what can happen with this guy. And like I said, when we're moving forward a little bit, I find this very useful to demonstrate kind of the extremes of what some of these pedals can do. We do have another fuzz pedal coming up that again does just some wild and wacky stuff. But this guy here, I mean, the amount of engineering that goes into pulling off a pedal like this, you have no idea how lucky we are to be able to put this guy on the Great Canadian Pedalboard, and it truly is. It's just an engineering marvel. It's amazing. So that is a very, very short overview, just some really cool tones of the Fairfield Circuitry Randy's Revenge ring mod. I would love to just spend an hour with you guys at some point, trying out all the different tones and just really digging into the manual. We don't have that kind of time right now, but over the course of the next month or so, we're going to be, like I said, pairing up some of these pedals and trying some different tone combinations just to see how they work together. But again, really, really cool pedal. If nothing else, a great modulation pedal to add to any pedal board. But so much more. Again, if I had the time, I would rig this up with an expression pedal and show you how all of the internal programming and that works. Maybe at some point in the future we can connect with Fairfield and do something like that on a different project. But for now, make sure you check out their website. Make sure you check out all their links. They've got a ton of really cool, really innovative, and really unique pedals over on their website, as well as on their Instagram and Facebook pages. So make sure you check out those links, and check out the links to all of our other sponsors: Next Gen Musical Limited in Nepean, Ontario, Nebula Straps, Peg City Pickups, who provided the pickups for this guitar, as well as Amps and Effects, which is a Canadian blog highlighting all of these guys, including myself and all of the pedal makers that we have on our list. So keep an eye out for that. Remember that the giveaway is launching May 1st, and we're going to be giving all of this stuff away on Canada Day 2023. So keep an eye out for that. And in the meantime, I hope you have a great weekend, and I will see you guys next time.